Bitch is a Bad Word podcast is for informational purposes only and reflects the opinions of the host and guests. It contains explicit content and discusses sensitive topics such as domestic abuse, sexual assault, and violence, which may be distressing to some listeners. Please take care of your emotional well-being while listening. While we strive for accuracy, we make no warranties about the completeness or reliability of the information, and any reliance on it is at your own risk. We do not endorse third-party views and are not liable for any defamatory claims. Listeners should conduct their own research and consult professionals before making decisions. If you or someone you know is in danger, please call 911 or contact the National Domestic Abuse Hotline 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 800-799-7233 or text START, S-T-A-R-T, to 88788. We've got your back, besties. Caliber Studios has not independently verified the information you're about to hear. Welcome, besties, to our new segment from Bitch is a Bad Word called Bitch Sesh. We are connecting with mamas all over the world. Come on our show and talk about their personal situations, their traumas, their stories, all the things that they're going through that we unfortunately can relate to. And on this segment, we are trying to just offer a platform for people to be able to speak, whether it's anonymously, whether it's just through our DMs or through our emails. But so many of you have reached out to share your stories with us, and they're heart-wrenching, traumatizing, but they need to be heard. And the more that we use our voice to amplify the voices of those who are afraid to speak or are not allowed to, the bigger and stronger our community gets. So welcome to our new segment called Bitch Sesh. Today we have a mama joining us. We're going to call her G. She has one child and she is going through it. So G, welcome to our show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me today. I appreciate just this opportunity to share and both of, your vulnerability and your putting this out there in the first place. So
thank you so much. I'd like to just ask you a little bit about your story and your situation. Where are you on your journey?
Yeah. So it's definitely been a journey, right? And, to say exactly where I'm at, it's kind of the unknown, which I think is probably, similar to, what others have experienced. The divorce is not completed yet. We are, still, at times still trying to make things work. But, for me, it's been really difficult because if, I've left and come back multiple times. And so, for various reasons, I'm, currently not working. And so that's a huge part of it, right? Is the inability to feel like I can support myself, and my son. And so, having a child is, just, another added, stressor because, to know that I still have to support him. And also if I'm not with my, soon to be ex, then, I have to figure out how am I going to work with him. Right. And so, so we're still, we still communicate, but it is definitely, not a.
Well, I hear what you're saying about leaving and coming back. We've talked about this on the show many times. Personally, I left a couple different times, never for very long because I was leaving with infants. So there was always this threat that, I was kidnapping them. So I'd always bring them back. And then, of course, as we've learned, the cycle of abuse is very predictable almost, but you just, except for the predictability of when the good is going to turn bad. So, they're romanticizing you again. They're love bombing you. When you leave, you're like, oh, you see these glimmer of the person that they were, that you fell in love with. And, so when people leave and come back, there's reasons why. You have children together. You have a relationship together. But number one, stay-at-home moms are financially dependent upon their partner who's working. And oftentimes, the coercive control is real. And you don't know what you're going to do when you leave, right? And I don't know, does he control all the finances? Do you have access? I mean, what's your situation?
So, in our situation, I don't have, I have access in the sense that I'm given, I'm provided a debit card. I have no idea what is in that account, and it's not an account in my name, and the card is not in my name, and so I'm just provided it to use. And so, at any point in time, I mean, it doesn't happen often, but yeah, like I've been, I'll go to the grocery store and I'm checking out and like, they're like, oh, like your card's declined. And I'm like, oh, okay. Give me just a minute, and so then I have to, face that whole just complete embarrassment, right, of that situation. And then I have to reach out to him and be like, hey, I need some money to pay for these groceries for myself and our son. And, then it's like, oh, I'll come to the rescue. And so I think for him, there's that power, right? Like that control of like, oh, I'm doing something that's, good for you. I'm making sure that, oh, well, now you have money. Well, yeah, you had control over it the whole time. Like, it wasn't like I overspent and,
Right. What an interesting way to look at it. Like, I never even considered that part of the control. I always was like, oh, it's a flex. Like, he's just like reminding me of who's in charge, because my debit card would decline at the grocery store all the time. And unlike, like you're saying, it's embarrassing. And then a normal person with like, a person that's in a healthy relationship could phone the bank themselves. Like, hey, what's the problem? Or you have access and you can like know immediately. Instead, you have to like suspend the transaction, move the card into the corner, and then phone them. I never thought about it, that they're using it as a way to look like a hero.
Right.
Shit.
Which, I mean, to like outside people, like they don't understand the dynamics of it, right? It's like, well, he really had control of it the whole time. But to me, because I think like in my experience, right, it is a lot about optics, and it is about him coming in and saving the day, and him coming in and providing all this, I'm such a great provider. I'm such a great provider. Well, it's monetarily that you're providing when you want to. And that's really like, it's just such a degrading way to live, is like to wonder, and I'm not going out and buying extravagant things, right? Like we're talking about groceries or gas, like, it's things like essentials, basics. Right?
Yeah. We had means. So it wasn't like the card was declining because, like we were living dollar to dollar.
Right. No, it's definitely, and that's, I guess, the other piece of it, that it just, in me, it triggers that, like, he wants to be that hero, because it's not like you said, it's not like we're living dollar to dollar, paycheck to paycheck. It is just a matter of, either cutting the card off, which has happened before, or like he can turn it off or whatever, or I have to just transfer money over to this one, because I have the card for that account, right? And so if anybody uses it, he knows that it's me, and so he can control like what money is actually available for that card. And so so it's not a ability to provide, it's the control aspect of it.
Hey besties, it's Lindsay from Bitch is a Bad Word podcast, and I was so excited when Cozy Earth reached out and wanted to sponsor our show because I love their products. Their bath towels are huge. They've got awesome prints on all their PJs. Their sheets are perfection. I love snuggling up with my kiddos, reading my texties from my exties. They are soft, they are silky. Most importantly, they keep me cool all night long. They've got your back with a 40% off coupon code using the code word besties at checkout. I promise you, you are going to love everything that they have. 40% off using our coupon code besties at cozyearth.com. And if they offer you a post-purchase survey, let them know you heard about Cozy Earth right here on Bitch is a Bad Word.
In your situation, is there physical abuse? Is there verbal abuse? All of it?
It's definitely mental and verbal. It is, or psychological. I don't, whatever term is the correct term, I'm not really sure, but it is the, it started, right, like with you're acting like whatever, like you're acting like a bitch or you're being a bitch. And so then I would be like, well, why are you, don't call me, when this first started, I'd be like, don't call me that. Why are you calling me names? And he's like, I'm not calling you names. I'm saying you're acting like that. Right. So he's trying to make a distinguishing, line in between the two of like calling you a name versus saying you're acting like this. And that lasted for, I don't know, maybe a year. And then it was full on like, well, if you wouldn't act like that, then I wouldn't have to call you a name. And so it, then transitioned to completely like, this is completely our new normal. And so like, I've been called names that like, you wouldn't ever imagine. And, I never imagined. And, it's just, it takes you, I think it took me a little bit to like kind of realize like, because like, I say this not lightly, but I say this respecting the fact that there are people who are physically abused, and it's horrible. So I'm not saying anything to that type of abuse, but the mental abuse and verbal abuse is so different because you don't have like I went to the hospital and I can, I have the doctor's report of saying that, I have a broken arm or, I have the physical signs of a black eye. And so for a long time, it was just the shame of it, right? It's like, well, I can't tell anybody this because like, there's no proof. There's no like tangible way to say like, oh, this actually happened. And so, to everyone else, he's like this great person. And so, then you have the whole, I can't tell anybody. And so then I'm just going to suck it up. And it's now become where it's just blatant. I mean, it's, and they say that, physical abuse escalates. Well, I believe that for my situation, the verbal abuse has just escalated to where now it's, where it used to be in the house, then it resorted to or transitioned to like it would be in texts or emails, and now it's in public where he'll do it, and I don't really even know that he realizes like how people view that. And I mean, a lot of people don't say anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, most people don't want to get involved. They're like, oh, that's their business. And that's the hard thing.
Yeah. Anyway, there's been, it's a lot of also like for him, it's a lot of property damage in the sense that like throwing things and breaking things. And
does he break things that he gave you as gifts?
Yes. So he'll take like, and he'll say like, I can do it because it's mine. I bought it. And so it's not like, even though they're gifts, right? Like, I mean, when I am given a gift, they're mine.
They are yours. If someone gives you a gift, it is no longer theirs. It is yours. Yeah. I am done with this bullshit narrative that, oh, it's mine, so I can do it. If you are a toddler, maybe you can give something to somebody and then you can take it back and break it. But if you are a fully fledged, cooked adult, You don't take back gifts you gave someone, and you definitely don't break them. I wouldn't because I can't imagine, like, my favorite thing to do is to give someone a gift. I love giving gifts.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine being like, give it back ever. I couldn't imagine breaking it because I was angry either. So that is fascinating and horrifying that you've gone through that. So, okay, destroying your property when he was charming you and in the beginning of the relationship, and you sound like you're a professional woman who's accomplished some things. He probably valued those attributes in you. And then does he devalue them now?
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's like, you know, like I had a situation where, and he was very, and like I could see it so clearly now, but at the moment it was really hard to see. Like I had a job, I was a young child, and my job involved social settings, right? Where I had to go and do things that were related to my job, but it was still social settings. And so he would be like, well, I just don't want you to go without me. And like, that's just weird that, you know, you'd go without me. And, you know, it was just kept impressing upon me, like, this is just like, this is not normal. This is not normal. And I'm like, man, like, I don't, you know, like, how do I, as a newlywed and a young mom, you know, I'm like, well, oh, okay, well, what do I do? And so then I kept trying to like make excuses. Well, long story short, I ended up getting fired from that job because it was like, I couldn't.
They're like, you can't keep bringing your husband to
like
work.
I couldn't do the job. I just couldn't do it and still maintain. And so now it's like, I will never live that down. Like I will never live the fact that I was fired from a position. And he, you know, now it's like, well, it's because you're just such a bad employee, and, you know, no one would hire you. And, like that kind of, of stuff, right. Is
they're
like
the reason why you couldn't maintain, but
And so
I
now,
can't imagine many people can keep a job with an abuser because they are relentless. Like if they aren't keeping you up all night having some sort of crazy fight, they're accusing you of shit. They're telling, it's telescoping. No, that's not the right word. It's telegraphing, where they are accusing you of the exact shit that they're doing.
Right.
So you're like, wait, no, like, I bet you he could go out to work events without you.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yes. No, and all the time. And I'm just supposed to be understanding. But, when the shoe's on the other foot, I think that's the other huge thing. Like, now that you brought that up, like, it's the huge thing about this whole situation is just how the inequality of it, right? And not in the sense of men and women are equal. It's just inequality of like what the standards are for just general like decency and expectations. And, like that's a perfect example is like for him going to work events, perfectly fine. No big deal. It's expected. And for me, it was like, no, you can't do that because it's really weird to go and do that without your spouse. And, it led to like now, how do I come back from that? Right. Like now. Right. And so, things, things happen for a reason.
Well, we always say or I say rules for thee, not for me. And that is how they dictate
that's so true.
Their life. It's like,
that's so true. Yeah. Even now that, it's like that, right? Like,
right.
Even in the, like, if we're not talking about like, in a separation situation, like it's still the same where the rules don't they're not uniform across the board. They're special for me and not for him. So yeah, that's a great way to say it. I love that.
You imagine this person, this pathological person, the only person they're thinking about is themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So when you shine light on your needs or you say something, I mean, my God forbid, but it does like put this internal feeling of guilt. My favorite times were when he would like travel for work.
Yeah.
Thank God. Because like I'm already doing it all on my own anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You're just creating a level of misery on top of it because of your mood or your anger or whatever. When they leave, you're just like, thank God. Did you feel that way?
Yeah. It's like kind of a deep breath that I can actually take. Like, and it's great. Like, and I don't think I went into marriage with rose-colored glasses, but I certainly saw enough relationships to where I was like, oh, well, you're going to miss that person. And, but like, it's cool. And, whatever, they'll be back and you can, spend time when they get back and whatever. And now, it evolved into like, okay, when is the next time? Because like, I need to just be able to take a deep breath. And like, even just the silly things, like, like I have a pretty good routine down, right? Like we do these things before we get ready for bed. And we do these things when, like we get up in the morning and it's not like, I'm a fairly laid back person just in general. And so, but it's, there's a routine, right? And so it kind of keeps everybody aware of what to expect. And so when he's gone, like it's so smooth, it's just like, it just operates and like everybody's good and, things happen like they're supposed to. And I mean, you have, a meltdown here and there, of course, but when he's there, it's like, well, I didn't, I'm going to give him 5 more minutes and I'm going to change the rules. Well, tonight we're going to do X, Y, and Z. And it just like, it's for no reason. Like there's no, like, we're going to do this because of this. It's just because he wants to like, throw it in there. Like he can control it. And daddy says, and, it just disrupts everything about what's going on. And like, again, if there's some reason why, like, okay, cool, let's have the conversation. But no, it's just like this, like, tyrant that comes in and is like, nope, I'm going to do it my way and screw what you do, most of the time. Like, we're just going to do it my way this time. So, yeah.
That's the hardest thing with kids, too, because, like, normal people know that kids thrive in a routine setting, where everything's predictable. But if you live with an abusive or pathological person, there's no predictability. When you leave, when your child comes back to you in your timeshare, they have an opportunity to decompress and relax and regulate themselves from whatever they're going through at the other parent's house. And so the job for you is to provide that space that just makes them like, okay, whatever it is you need to relax, all the love is here. Everybody's waiting for you. And that was so helpful for me to like relieve myself of the guilt, because personally, it wasn't safe for me to stay any longer. It wasn't safe for our kids to stay there any longer. Like no one should live like that. No one should live with any kind of, like you shouldn't live walking on eggshells. You shouldn't live with verbal abuse. That is not okay. Like at any point. And I'm in a relationship currently and we have never exchanged a bad word to each other ever. Like we don't raise our voices. We have a lot of fucking stress too. There's a lot of shit going on in both of our lives, and coming out into a healthy relationship, that's the empowerment I want to give to women and besties that are listening. Is like it doesn't have to, you shouldn't be living like this.
Hi, I'm Sarah Wayne Callies, and I played Dr. Sarah Tancredi on Prison Break.
And I'm Paul Edelstein, and I played Agent Paul Kellerman on Prison Break. Please join us on our rewatch podcast, Prison Breaking, with Sarah and Paul.
We're going to have all kinds of guests and never-before-told stories, so follow us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. And you can subscribe to our watch party on the link there. We can't wait to see you there.
And follow us on Instagram at Prison Break Podcast. See you there.
I want to ask you one final question, because this is more just like, I want to inquire, is your ex super good to your child and to like people like out? Is there a huge mask that he wears?
Yes, absolutely. And so, and I think, that's the part that really screws with my head. And I don't know, I'm sure other people have some similar experiences to that too, where it's like, you see how good, right? Like you see how nice and kind and thoughtful and helpful and like all the adjectives, all the positive adjectives you could think of, right? Like he can be that person, like, and he is that person to everyone else but me. And I don't begrudge, especially my child. I mean, my child deserves that and times 1,000, right? But it also like, it makes you wonder, right? Like, is that even real? Right? Like, I don't even know. I mean, because of what I experienced, like, I know the shit show that is my reality with him. And so, but yeah, I mean, it's a huge mask that I don't know who else has seen. I mean, there's got to be people, that have seen what I see. I don't know who they are, and I don't know, we've never had the conversation of like, let's compare notes. So I don't have that experience, but so I do know that, for me, this is my experience, and he's someone totally different to everyone else. And that's hard,
wild.
right? Like, I mean,
it's hard. Well, it's hard because you see it, it's hard not to think it's a you problem, right? You're like, well, I guess it is me. No, it's fucking not. It is them.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's hard not to put that on yourself and be like, what's wrong with me?
Oh, gee. Well, I am loving that you are joining us on our inaugural. I don't know sometimes I don't know how to speak any words. Inaugural bitch sesh. And that you had the courage and the, bravery to reach out even to talk about it. And as far as we're concerned, we're so grateful that you did, because it makes what we're doing that much more important, because we are reaching people who are unfortunately relating to us.
Right.
So thank you for joining us and sharing your story. And, we're here for you. Just know that. I definitely want to know what's happening, and I'd love to do a part 2 when you're on a different part of your journey.
Yes. I'm hoping that sooner rather than later. And I would, I do think you guys just, it takes a lot to not be silent, and y'all have done that in a very relatable way, right? Because, there's other people that may have said the things that you're saying, but in a way that, someone can say, oh my gosh, like, I don't feel alone. And that's like huge. I mean, I don't, I can't tell you how many times like I feel like they're like, no one else has experienced this shit. Like, it's just me. And so for you guys to be able to have used this platform to make someone feel that they aren't alone is just an amazing thing. And so it may feel really vulnerable for you, but like it's something that's doing a lot of good. And so I thank you guys for speaking up.
Well, there you go, making me cry.
No,
it means the world.
Yeah.
It really does. My heart hurts for so many of our besties as well. Because it's just barbaric. That's what it feels like. It just feels like nobody should be treated like this. You know, everybody has the right to feel free and, you know, feel happy and not be called a bitch or a cunt or worse. And anytime I hear it, it makes me just fuming. Like, I'm so sad. And for these women, I mean, it happens to men too, but that's not the show that I'm working on right now.
Right.
And, I just feel like the more we can band together and the more we can use our voice, then, you know, hopefully we can start breaking these cycles. And, you know, good for you for leaving, because I truly believe that you are breaking a cycle with your child. I really think that you're doing something super brave, and you're a baddie, and you're part of our BFF club, and we're here for you, whatever it is you need. And, thank you again for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you to G for joining us on our first episode of Bitch Sesh. If you would like to join in the conversation and share your journey and your story with us, please send us a message on Instagram at bitchisabadwordpod, TikTok at bitchisabadword. You can send us a text or a phone call, leave us a voicemail, whatever you feel comfortable doing, on our phone number 331-BITCHES, or send us an email at biabw@gmail.com. Share your stories with us. We got your back, besties. We'll see you over at Bitches a Bad Word Pod. And thank you for joining us on this episode of Bitch Sesh. Bye, besties. Bitches being bad.